Hey guys. Okay, so I just wanted to show you now that the book is done. This is what we've got left. We've got all of the insides from the frames. This is the black paper that's left. So we'll be working with this. And so far we've only used 5 8.5 by 11 and 5 12 by 12. So really this comes together pretty quick. I have a few strips from the papers and I got a little bit of chipboard. Okay, so we're gonna start decorating and all of that stuff. I probably will bring in maybe one more sheet of 12 by 12, and this might be what I use since I've already pulled it out. Okay, so I'm gonna get myself a little bit more organized and do a little bit of die cutting, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I got the largest scrap that I had, and I cut it out, and it is 6 1/4 by 4 7/8, and that fills the back of this up beautifully. I always like to do a waterfall in the back if I have the room, and I think I do. So I pulled out 2 more sheets of 8.5 by 11. I don't have any 12 by 12, so this is what I'm going to work with. Because this is 11 inches, I'm going to cut my paper at 5 1/2, so I can get 2 out of here. And then by 4, I can actually do it 4 1/4, and you know, then get I think that will mean that I'll get all 4 of them out of this. So my brain's not working yet this morning. It's partially working. Let's see what we end up with anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this. I'm going to cut this at 5 1/2. And that should give me 2 equal portions, and it does. And then we're going to cut at 4 1/4, and that's going to give us 1/4 of an inch to fold over, which I'm happy with. Let's see if it'll do both. It did. Yay! And now we're going to see, where's my score tool here? Hello, little score tool. Where'd you go? There it is. I didn't put it back in its place, but I did put the pin in my glue. Yay! Hey, give me a thumbs up just for that. I've been doing pretty well with that. You know, if you are having that glue glob up on you a lot, if you take the lid off and dig your pin down in there, you might find where you've got some dried stuff that got into the glue and is floating around, and that gets up in that clogged in area, and you know, I mean, gets up in that little the little part here and clogs you up. But then when you stick the pin in, it pushes it back down into the glue, and you're good for a little while. So if you take a pin, take the lid off, take a pin and dig around in there, you might find it. You might luck out. But the secret really is to put the pin back in here so you don't get those dried bits that fall into the glue. So it's a hassle, but in the long run it saves you heartache, so I've really been trying to do it. Okay, we're gonna bang this waterfall out pretty quick here. I'm just gonna work off of my sheet, fold my little folds. Oh, that didn't go straight. go. The smaller these are, boy, the harder it is to make sure you've got them straight. And so I got, you know, the trick really is in that initial fold that you're doing. That didn't get straight either. I was trying to zip through this a little too fast. And there are some things that are worth taking the time for, but you start getting that come on it straight on, you get that. And it really does matter on these waterfalls if these are straight or not, because then it warps the paper a little bit. And okay, so I'm getting 4, and I did, you know, just the one sheet of paper, but I'm sure I'm going to need that other one because I don't have anything big enough to cover the inside. So I'm going to cover this with some of this paper here. And again, it's the only one that's large enough to do it. Let me move my book out of the way for a minute. Move this up. I'm going to cut off the tab here. And I save that because all of that is really cool. It's cool, man. Let's see, where's my base? So this is 6 1/4 by 4 7/8. So I am going to, let's see, which end do I want to use? I am going to cut, I'm going to have to open this up. Dag, burn it. 6 1/4, so let's do 6 1/8. Sorry if I'm off. No, I'm doing all right. And I'll be able to use the other side of this on, yeah, pretty. 6 1/4 by 4 7/8. So we're going to go 4 3/4 and just have a little black edge. And I'm going to go ahead and do the 4 3/4 again, so I have it for the front cover. Okay, so there's my front cover, and here's my back cover. And didn't get to save anything out of that, but we'll use it. Okay, and then I still have all of these. I'm really thinking this is going to be on my front. And then, you know, I have all these if I want to cut them out or just use it. Okay, so there's this. And that's nice right there. One little funky edge there. I wonder if my needle needs my I don't know if I need to change my blade again or not. You know, just trying to get used to this new one here. Alright, see, when I leave my needle out of my glue, there we go. Okay. Lay this down. Very nice right there. And I am going to, because you know how good I am at straightness, I'm going to take this, and I need to start pretty much at the top. Let me do this, kind of line this up so I know I'm working with something straight. And then I need to do this. And I think if I start there, no, I have to start right at the top, so that's what we'll do. This still is not quite straight. Holy Toledo, there we go. Okay. So don't need that, I'll just put it right at the top of the paper. Just going to use my glue. Gonna center it. I think that's going to be good. Looks good from here. Okay, there's one. Make sure this is nice and straight. Just line these up. Okay, let's see how I'm going to do with this one. Yep. It doesn't really take much to do a waterfall, and you get so many more pictures, so it's like a big bang for your buck. Just takes a little bit of math to figure out what kind of room you have for how many you have, and if you're not sure, what I did was, I knew I like to have it about 4 inches. What did I do with my ruler? Here it is. Because I like to be able to get a 4x6 picture on it, okay? So, but I wanted to get the biggest bang for my buck for each piece of paper, so that's why I went to 5.5, so that I could get the 4 out of the 8.5 by 11 paper. And then the 4 1/4 leaves this at 4 inches, so it's 4 by 5.5. You usually got a 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch somewhere on your photo that you can cut off. So, and then I just followed my ruler down. If I would have done a 1/2, I would have been able to get one other. So I went from here. Let me get you a little closer so I can show you. There, you can see this now. So if I would have, I wanted them to be 4 inches long. This is the space I have between, to work with, which is 4 3/4 basically. It's 4 7/8, but the pink paper is 4 3/4. So I just followed along. If I would have gone with a 1/2 inch flap, I would have had the first one, a second one, and that's all I would have been able to do. So that's why I cut it down to the 1/4 inch. So I get 1, 2, and 3, and 3 is going to leave very little, if any, of this pink down here. It should cover it all perfectly. So that's why I chose to do what I did, and I knew that I would have room for 4. So I hope that helps you in planning a waterfall. So let me squeeze you back out here so you can see what I'm doing. And I've got the 3 done, and now I'll just make sure this one is fitting up. Oops, throwing my glue around. And then I'm going to put my pin back in my bottle. So I already started getting a little funky tip on it. Okay, and down we go. Straight as an arrow. A little bit of glue. That's all right. Okay. And there it goes all the way down and it covers the pink. Covers that pink up. So the only pink showing is on either side. And now I need to figure out if I want to do a quick closure on this or if I just want to leave it the way it is. And I think with this, I think I would like a seam binding bow. This just makes me think of that. But then again, at the same time, I think I'd like some kind of flower instead of a bow. Let me gather a few things and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got, oh, I should have cut into this before, there we go. So I'm going to use one magnet. I think I had one of my metal caps over here. Let's see. Here's one here. I sell these in my Etsy shop if you can't find them. They are tin caps for roofing. You find them in the roofing department. At, you know, I think Lowe's stopped carrying them, but if you can't find them, I sell them pretty inexpensively for on basically half of what you pay goes for shipping it to you. But the magnets hold on to it really nicely, and it just saves. Now instead of having to use two magnets, I only have to use one. So but I pulled a flower I have from Prima. This one is from La Belle Harbor. I don't know, but I like the flower with the group. So I'm going to cut this down. I actually want kind of a little rectangle, so I'm just going to cut it out of here. But this is really, especially with the Tim Holtz scissors, it's very easy to cut. So I just basically cut it down to where it's the size of the magnet, but I'll put it this way, and the magnet has room to grow. Okay? So as it fills up, it'll have room to slide around on here. Instead of just magnet to magnet, you get pictures in here, it puffs up, then your magnets aren't hitting anymore. So this gives you that little leeway. Okay. Oops. Alrighty then. Boy, is this place getting messy. I moved all these little fellas out of here. Just get so excited. Okay, and I think this little piece will be perfect to cut, and I have some little strips here. This is from doing the cover. So I'm gonna just kind of eyeball this. Got about a 1/2 inch over here and a 1/2 inch over here, and I want it to overlap, so I'm gonna flip it up about that much because I can always cut it off. So I made a little mark, and as soon as I cut it, I'll tell you what the measurement is. Find my little mark. Did I get that straight? Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, so let's see. I'm doing this. I'm gonna do a 1/2 inch on this side. Sorry, and a 1/2 inch on this side. Get that folded. Go ahead and get this out of the way. Want this to be in the center. So I'm going to get my centering ruler because, again, as you know, I am horrible with this. And let's see, there's 3 and 9. So that's centered. Oh wow, I'm like right on the money. Good girl. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this side down. Kudos for the pin in. Okay. Gluing this side down. And then I want my flower to be right about here, kind of center stage there. So I'm making a little mark, and that's where I want it cut. And then I'll give you the measurements of what the two of them are supposed to do. Get in there. Okay, so the first one is 3 1/2. The second one, but let's see if that changes, but this is 4 1/2. But I think an inch overage is what I'm going to need. So let's see if this is going to work, or if I'm going to need, oh no, it's a good, I'll even be able to cut this one down. But like I said, you're going to need the growing room. So reminder to put my pin in my glue. It sticks to my finger. It says, hey lady, put me away. Okay, so we're going to have the magnet here, and we're going to have this piece here. So first thing is, get ahead of myself, let's glue this down. The fact that it's not still on the book, I don't know what happened here. There we go. Gosh, I think I actually got that straight. And I like for the bottom one, you know, I cut that down, but I like for the bottom one to be slightly, and I mean like a 32nd of an inch, kind of slightly smaller than the top one, so that you don't see the flap up here. You see it going in, but you don't see it, you know. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this down about 1/8 of an inch from the top of the flap, so that I can put, well no, let's do Okay, let me rethink that. I'm going to put this almost a half an inch from the end of the flap, because I need to be able to put my magnet with and get my paper down on the edge. So if I do it like 1/8 of an inch, I wouldn't be able to get my paper around my magnet and still have it work for me. So we're going to put that up about a half inch. Okay, so that's pretty much where I want it. Let's get some glue on there. It glues down really nicely with this art glitter glue. I've used Eileen's tacky glue on them as well. It just takes a little longer for it to dry. Okay, and then I want this side of the magnet for initial use to be down at this end. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here. I'm putting it down at this end, but as it grows, it will be able to slide. Okay, so we've got that. Now we have that down. Slide it off. And I do like to put a little bit of tape, but I really try, oops, a little long. Put a little tape right there. But I really try and not put it right just on the main part of the magnet. Just a little something to help it. Okay. Now, let's see. Use my papers. Okay, I've been doing measurements all the time, so let me go ahead and do measurements. So this is 3 7/8. So we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it at 3 3/4. And this is 1 7/8, so 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. By 3 3/4. I'm getting 1 out of this, and I will make that work with some strips. Okay, and I got a little strip there. Now you can do anything with this. Like I said, you can tie ribbons. You don't have to have a magnet. You can make a really cute paper clip with a little fringe off the top or whatever and clip it on. You know, you don't have to have magnets. So, you know, don't... And I mean, there's lots of different cute ways to do it. Don't fret about not owning a magnet. Well, that would have been really cute, but that's okay. Okay, I got that. Oh, first, let me find... Let's see. That'll work. Oh, just enough time to move that around. Good. Okay, and this was 1 3/4. So let me just snip this out at 1 3/4. And probably only needs to be, need about 1/4 inch taken off of it. So that's not going to be easy. Let me just eyeballing it. Just eyeballing it. That'll be good. Okay. There, unless you're really looking for it, you probably won't even notice that. Okay. Now, let's see. What do I have? I'm going to put the flower here. What can I put? It's not going to take away from the flower, but it's going to add to it. Actually, I think I'm going to use this piece here. I think that'll be really cute, and then have the flower sitting on it. I wonder what that would be. It would cover the flower up. Okay, so we'll use this side. It was 1 3/4. I'm going to make a mark, and then I'll give you the measurement. So let me first do the 1 3/4. And then my measurement is right there. 3 7/8. Okay. Yeah, I like the black coming in on that. And then I'm just gonna put some you can make your own flower. You can use a brooch, a button, or just leave it just like that. And I want to make sure I leave the corners showing so that they're not trying to pick it up by pulling the flower. I want them to be able to catch the corner, because they'll damage the flower, because it is just paper. So there you go. There is one quick waterfall, and then we'll just put it right in to the back of our book. And how cute is that? Alright guys, I'll be back with more. Bye! Okay, just to show you how I finished this off, is I went ahead and cut another piece. This was 1 3/4 by, I think it was 3, let's see. 3 3/4, yeah. So 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I got these little 1/2-inch strips that were cut off of the original papers when we were making these. When we were making these pages. And I'm going to lay those down right like that. And that is how it'll look. So I think that's really cute. Finish off the end of the book. Alright guys, just wanted to let you see it after I totally finished it. Bye for now. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the inside front cover and go over some measurements with you. I have a strip of paper that is 3 7/8 by 5/8. This is just a bit of this paper that I had left from cutting, but you can use any. This is just going to be a tag that's going to be in there. This is a piece that is the same on the back. It's 6 1/8 by 4 3/4. So that's going to be the main page here, base page. Then I have a piece of black cardstock, which I did cut into my 7th piece of black cardstock. So it's 6 by 4, and on the 6-inch side you're going to score it a 1/2 inch. And then this other sheet here is 5 3/8 by 3 7/8. This is one of the frames, and just so you know, I did cut it down a little bit. So, because the frames are actually, I think, mostly 4 inches. But I cut this down to 3 7/8 because I missed cut this one. So if you want to add 1/8 to this and make it 4 1/8, your 4-inch card will give you a nice, you know, bit around it. So you'll just have to plan that however you want. But basically I'm going to make a flap on this page, and I'm going to use a flip tab to hold it closed. And then I'll have a little tuck spot in the back for my tag, in the back of the black. Okay, so we're going to put the book away for a minute. We're just going to work right off of this. And let me show you what this will look like. Sorry, my mom's down there coughing. I do apologize if there's a lot of noise on these videos. It's really hard to find time to video without all the background noise, so I really do apologize for that. But this is what it's going to look like on there. I'm going to have a frame all the way around, but I want to put this inside, so I am going to make some marks here, just with my pencil lightly. Where I'm going to make a cut into the paper. I'm going to get my T-ruler out. Make sure I'm hooked on both sides of the paper. Make a little line there. Now I'm a little farther up this way than down this way, so I will do that a little differently. Let's see, I'm going to find the center here. 8. Okay, so I'm going to line the ruler up. I've got my center. And I'm going to go start at the 4. That gives me 3/8, and I'm going to end at the 8. And I believe, let's see. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. If I cut from the 4 to the 8, that's 3/8 on both sides, and that's going to give me enough room to slide this in. And that, because it's, as this is 4 inches, and that gives me 4 inches. Okay, so my cutter is actually where it's supposed to be. Wow. And the pin is in my glue. I am getting so good. Not really. I am proud of myself though. Okay, so let's see if this is going to fit in here. Might have to tweak the cut a little bit. And I tell you another thing that will help. This will go in there, I think. Another thing that will help is if you give a slight cut like this, just like, you know, when you're putting your hinge in, and you're going to put it up to the fold mark and not cove over. So that's going to work really well. Let me get this folded. So I'm going to put this in. Okay, so now first I'm going to get my nice eraser. Here it is. And as long as you don't push down and really make an impression in the paper, it comes up pretty easy. If you push kind of hard, just make sure that none of this is going to show. If you push kind of hard, then, you know, it's just not going to come out like as easily. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over now that I think that it's straight, and I'm going to put some glue on it. I'm not going to push it all the way over because I want it to stay. Make sure we're getting glue down. And again, I'm going to take, sorry, my charm hits all the time. It irritates me. I know it's got to irritate you guys. I'm going to take a little bit of score tape and put right over the top of that cut line so that the papers both stay right where they're supposed to be. Alright, and now so I have this piece here. I'm going to go right there and get a nice black edge all the way around. And I'm going to need to fit this on. And it is a little thick, so I am going to have to make sure I maneuver that around a little bit better. Where'd I put my little pink? Okay, you guys probably saw it roll away and you were laughing your butt off at me. Put my pin in my glue. I probably might have to just go and dig out another one because I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it. Alrighty then. I'll just dig another one out so I'm not wasting y'all's time. There we go. Alrighty. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find my center, which I think is, yeah, at 3 5/8 gives me center. Pull this back. Put this on the paper. And then get my little hole pokey tool. Alright. Make that a little larger so I can actually get the prongs in there. And it's far enough. Yeah, it's good. Let's not forget to put this on. And I'm going to work on not pulling it too tightly so it's not going to be so hard to get it. To get it to be able to go over the thicker paper. There we go. go. Flatten it down a little bit. Okay, now I just have to put this down, and then I'll have this put in, and then I'll have just some tags and stuff, and I will come back and show you the final product. And I thank you very much for joining me, and I hope that you give me a thumbs up. I hope you like this, kind of a quick and easy, make a beautiful present for somebody. Baby gift, baby shower gift, birthday, some special family reunion, and you can put the pictures in there and send it to them, and it'll be a keepsake for life. So thanks, guys. There we go. And oh, I didn't put in my little, let me find where I put that. I'm just going to glue right down the 3 sides and get it right there. And then we're just going to stick that right in there. How sweet it is, girls and guys, ladies and gentlemen. And because I didn't put that too tight, it's easy to do. There we go. Alright, guys. Thanks. I'll be back with a final look-see. Okay? Take care.